This was a talented boy. Even though he had never played badminton before, he could learn how to play by watching other people play. He constantly defeated many opponents. He is one of Malaysia's most famous sportsmen, Lee Chong Wei, who surely ranks as one of the greatest badminton players of all time. Lee Chong Wei was really excited to see the badminton match for the first time. And he also dreamed of being a badminton player. He declared to his father that one day he would represent the country in badminton competitions. That's ridiculous. He was then scolded by his father. At the time, a badminton racket cost $89, so he couldn't afford it. Thus Wei practiced with a pan instead of a badminton racket. Seeing that, his neighbors thought he was insane. Another day, he studiously practiced with his friend. However, the pan's force was so strong that the shuttlecock struck his friend. This made his friend collapse on the ground in pain. Wei seemed to be in serious trouble. Not long after that, a badminton tournament was organized. He asked for a badminton racket from the teacher. But the teacher looked down on him. "You don't know how to play badminton, so you borrow it for what?" At that moment, a stranger lent the boy a badminton racket. Although this was his first time holding the racket, he won the match thanks to his natural talent. After that, that stranger gifted this racket to him. He delighted in bringing the racket home, but this enraged his father. His father immediately broke his racket and forbade him from playing badminton. The next day, that stranger arrived to invite him to join in a badminton match. If Wei joined in this match, he would receive an amount of money. As a result, he trusted the man and came to the match. But he had no idea this was a covered bet. Wei consistently won the match thanks to his natural talent. He defeated all of them on his own. As a result, this man earned a lot of money. Suddenly, Wei's father came in and took him away. However, it wasn't easy for them to leave. In the past, his father declined to participate in the bet with the gang. They immediately hunted down Wei's father, even murdering his best friend. As a result, he vowed never to play badminton again. Nor would he allow his son to play badminton. But now, because of his son, he had no choice but to take part in this match. If they won, they could leave. If they lost, they had to remain in the gang. This was the first time he had played badminton with his father. Wei was a natural talent, so he quickly adapted to doubles. The two of them worked together very well. As a result, they were able to leave easily while still earning some money. If you really like badminton, you have to practice a lot. His father eventually permitted Wei to play badminton. From gripping the racket to striking the shuttlecock, from strength to ability, he performed excellently. Every day, he practiced so hard. Under Coach Mispin's training, he progressed very quickly. Soon after, the Badminton Academy organized a competition. From the preliminary round until the final round, Wei defeated all of his opponents on his own. The boy won splendidly. However, the boy was too short, so the national team couldn't select him. This made Wei extremely sad. To get taller, the boy constantly practiced jumping. Despite his tiredness, he did not stop. Seeing that, his mother was so heartbroken and wanted to help him, because she could feel how Wei was in agony. The next day, Wei noticed a cloth wrapped around a wooden stick. Every day, the boy ate potato soup, which his mother prepared late the previous night. Before going to school, Wei always asked his mother if he had grown any taller. The chalk line on the wall was also rising higher and higher by the day. After a time, he was also considerably taller. 2 years later, Wei eventually began his formal training. One day, a man challenged him to a badminton match. Of course, Wei wasn't afraid to play badminton with him. "I'll give you a handicap of 10. If you lose, you must repay the amount you owe." His opponent seemed to look down on him. As that man was a professional badminton player, there's no way he'd lose to Wei. The first round began, that man missed striking the shuttlecock. But he thought that Wei had been in luck. But after that, he missed the shuttlecock 3 rounds in a row. He no longer needed to save face. So he asked his friends to play 4 versus 1 against Wei. That man was certain they would win. However, Wei still struck very well. They were utterly defeated until he hit one decisive strike. At the moment he tiredly asked, "Who are you?" "I'm Lee Chong Wei." But that man also didn't expect this boy would become famous in the future. The youngster, who had been previously mocked for being short, made an incessant effort. During the Badminton Academy entrance exam, Wei demonstrated his ability and drew the attention of the coach Mispin. He expected Wei would be able to compete in the national match. However, the board still disagreed with him due to his poor circumstances. Someone mocked him for not having been trained before, even comparing him to a zoo monkey. However, Wei was still able to enter Badminton Academy. After receiving 9 yes votes and 8 votes against, every player hoped to be recruited into the Malaysian Badminton Academy. So Wei was really proud of himself. However, everyone here was in such great physical shape that Wei couldn't keep up with them. As a result, he was teased and mocked by his classmates. They even threatened him with their badminton skills. While he was derided by his classmates, he was scolded by his coach. So he felt disheartened and wanted to give up, because he lost all confidence. At this point, someone approached him and told him, "What the people here need is not opportunity, but patience." There were many people who had the chance, but those who were patient till the end were the genuinely strong. Wei got it, so he resumed his feverish practice. Along with his patience, he was chosen as one of the top 8 competitors to compete. However, on the day of departure, the coach unexpectedly replaced him. He didn't know why, so he ran after them and begged. He was confused as to why the coach had decided like that. The bus moved slowly away, leaving the boy sobbing in the rain. Wei thought about giving up to be a badminton player once more. Soon later, Coach Mispin called Wei to speak with him. He eventually understood that the coach had placed all of his expectations on him. In the meeting that day, Coach Mispin decided to give Wei a yes vote to join in the national team. He frequently observed Wei's practice and was strict with him, because Wei was his hope. The reason he refused to let Wei compete that day was because he wanted to protect Wei. The coach hoped Wei could achieve his lifelong dream of becoming the #1 ranking in the world. After learning the truth, Wei continued to practice hard. Soon later, the qualifying matches for the 2004 Asian Badminton Championships began. Wei did not expect that the person in front of him would become his lifelong opponent. This was the match between the best competitors, as well as the match between one was a national treasure, while the other was unknown. Unexpectedly, this encounter marked the beginning of their future rematches. In the 2004 Asian Cup qualifying match that year, Lee Chong Wei was defeated at the hands of the talented 𝐀𝐋𝐖𝐀𝐃𝐒. In the 2005 Malaysia Badminton Open semifinals, they met each other again. Despite his best efforts, Wei was defeated by his opponent. Wei almost won the Asian matches, but he was only defeated at the hands of 𝐀𝐋𝐖𝐀𝐃𝐒. The team was so disappointed that they wanted to weed out Wei. However, Coach Mispin still remained certain that Wei would win. In the upcoming competition, he even bet his entire educational life work on Wei. In the 2005 National Badminton semi-final, Wei was once again defeated by 𝐀𝐋𝐖𝐀𝐃𝐒. After that, Wei apologized to the coach and said that he had done his best. Mispin didn't blame Wei either, and he told him, "The spirit of badminton isn't about winning or losing. It's about what we dream and how our hearts begin." 6 months later, Malaysia organized another match. Somehow, Wei met 𝐀𝐋𝐖𝐀𝐃𝐒 again. This match was eagerly anticipated by everyone. As soon as the match began, the two of them played quite decisively. In a relatively short period of time, two unpopular, talented teenagers have earned their place on the international charts. They both competed fiercely, thus they were drawn in the previous 2 rounds. Eventually, the 3rd round would be the win-lose round. But Wei appeared to be exhausted. The score was then 13-20. 𝐀𝐋𝐿𝐃𝐒 was still quite strong. He just needed to win one more round. The match would be finished. Wei seemed to have no chance of winning. But at this time, Wei recalled every single moment of the past. Chong Wei, when you are doubting yourself, remember those who trust you. He recalled his family, friends, and the man who gifted him his first racket. And his first coach, Mispin, the national team coach. They were all his supporters. He then got what he was looking for. It's not about winning or losing, it's the patience to achieve his dream. At this point, he didn't care if he won or lost, as long as his patience didn't wear thin. After that, he competed with all of his might. The score had increased from 13-20 to 20-20. He absolutely created incredible miracles. Everyone then stood up and cheered even more excitedly. Wei and 𝐀𝐋𝐖𝐀𝐃𝐒 continued to have the same score. The crowd were chanting the name of Lee Chong Wei. At this point, Wei increased the score to 22-21 with one more strike. Everyone was so thrilled that they were unable to breathe. This was the decisive moment. He used all of his power to strike the shuttlecock. Finally, Wei had won. He completed an amazing match. And he had burnt millions of people's spirits. In this world, enthusiasm and patience will help us to achieve our goals. You will never lose if you do your best.